Good morning, Cecile, and what we're seeing as we move forward in your forecast today, warmer, but for the most part mild compared to what's on the way in our forecast for Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures in the valley this afternoon heating up mid to high 80s. That's around 10 plus degrees above average across portions of the valley. We're seeing winds out of the north up to 15 miles an hour today. Does not look as gusty as what we saw yesterday, so that's decent news. And humidity still down to as low as 15% later on today. So it is going to be dry out there. Winds up to 15 miles an hour, so around breezy conditions, not gusty like what we'll see on the way for tomorrow. Mostly in the moderate range for fire danger this afternoon. Towards the afternoon, we start to see that peaking into the high range later on. Getting a look at what's ahead. We do have a fire weather watch going into effect. This starts Wednesday morning. It's set to last through Thursday afternoon. And the problems we're facing, gusty winds out of the north up to 45 miles an hour in the valley. The biggest wind gusts or the strongest wind gusts expected in the valley will be Wednesday afternoon through early Thursday morning. Overnight, Wednesday into Thursday, we see the potential for some very strong gusts in the Feather River Canyon areas. So those canyons in the Sierra and foothills could be looking at gusts up to 50 plus miles an hour. That's a problem. The other issue we're facing, humidity very low. So dry conditions on the way, close to 10% humidity projected in the valley. Moving forward, humidity is going to be in the teens. That's a problem for us. Gusts up to 45 miles an hour in the valley, and fuel still very dry out there. We have had some rain, so it's not as dry as what we were seeing last year at this time, but nonetheless, it's dry enough to be a concern. Right now, it's a fire weather watch. We could see that upgraded to a red flag warning. Getting a look at what we're seeing for this morning. Temperatures are starting out in the mid 50s to low 60s in the valley. Now most of the valley falling into the 50s, mid to high 50s in the foothills, 20s to mostly 30s in the mountains early on today. Getting a look at winds this morning, up to 11 miles an hour out of the northeast in Corning right now. Winds are expected to peak around 15 miles an hour today. Might see a gust up to 20 miles an hour this afternoon. Tomorrow is when the stronger wind event is going to be taking hold. And we're starting out below what we'd like to see. We'd love to see humidity over 70%. That is not the case this morning. We're mostly hovering between 50 to 60% right now in the valley. That's going to be dropping to around 15% this afternoon. That's a bit problematic. Satellite and radar showing you clear skies right now. That does not change as we move forward. We'll see a few clouds brushing through the region, but no showers in sight. Those are staying to our north as high pressure is the dominant feature in your forecast. Remember, high means dry. As that builds in, that's going to keep us very dry. And as that gets closer, it's also going to give us those gusty north winds heading through. Pressure gradients are tightening tomorrow into Thursday. Tomorrow, it's mostly northeast winds. By Thursday, we're actually looking at east to west winds. That's more problematic for those canyons through the foothills and the Sierra. So fire danger is going to be a major concern for the middle of your work week. By Thursday evening, winds expected to slack. That's decent news late week into your weekend. Satellite and radar in your futurecast showing clear skies for the most part over the next several days. Really not seeing much of a change of pace there. We might see a cloud or two brushing through the region. No showers in sight. And temperatures today, mid to high 80s if you're in the valley this afternoon. A little warmer than yesterday. Low to mid 80s in the foothills, 70s in the mountains for your Tuesday afternoon. Your Storm Tracker 7-day forecast where your weekend is always in view. Mid to high 80s today. Fire danger is high Wednesday into Thursday with those gusty winds and low humidity values. Temperatures still in the mid to high 80s. Redding 88 degrees for today, down to 85 with high fire danger Wednesday, 89 degrees on Thursday. So flirting with 90s in Redding for the end of the work week. Winds start to diminish Thursday afternoon into Friday. That leaves us with lower fire danger for the end of the work week, but we are still warm out there. Starting to cool down a little bit Saturday into Sunday. Mid 80s Saturday, mid to high 70s in the valley on Sunday. And Cecile, there's potential there. Models are mixed right now, but potential for another wind event arriving Sunday into Monday of your extended forecast that could bring the return of high fire danger for the latter part of your weekend.